Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Lira and Low on this Thursday. Cold evening. Lamig-lamig nga ngayon. It's not really autumn weather, but rather more winter. No? I should introduce myself, of course. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat. I am a solicitor of over 33 years post-qualification experience. 33 years. It always astonishes me saying that. Over 33 years post-qualification experience. I practice, of course, here in England and Wales. My firm is called Douglas Simon Solicitors. We are based in Greater London, Richmond. So yung dulo ng district line, that's where we are. So not very far from the city, actually. So we're easily, you can easily get to us. So hopefully you'll be able to see us sometime now, our neck of the woods. Now, so, thank you very much for joining me. Always a pleasure po. And as usual nga, we'll be dealing with legal issues that concern you. And there have been a lot of concerns. It's siguro itong taon na ito, I would say it's probably top 3 of busiest immigration. Lots of things happening, not always good. But certainly there are a lot of changes now. So it's good to keep up to date. And on the basis of sharing is caring, if you're watching either now or later on, if you think there are people who may be able to benefit nga from our show, so kaibigan, kamag-anak nyo, padala nyo, just send the link, and hopefully you'll be able to help them a little bit, if nothing else. And certainly the last few shows nga natin, I think it's worked to maybe allay some fears, that some people have had about indefinite leave to remain, which actually remains to be a pretty hot topic. But today, ang pag-uusapan po natin, as usual, is from you. So a few people sent in their concerns nga, and their questions. So we've chosen, as usual nga, from the questions that you put forward. And so ang topic po natin ngayon from our viewer is your baby British? So that sounds a bit sensationalist, doesn't it? But that is the question. Is your baby British? Dahil yung ang question yan, no? So let me just read to you the question, and then we're going to unpack that later on. So let me just see if I can get to it. I seem to have some technical issues, so hopefully you can still see me. So let me just see. Let me just check here. I seem to have some technical issues, so let me just check. Okay, let me see if I can find my questions. And this is the problem with being live, no? Now, okay. So let me just have a look. Okay. So anyway, let me just read to you the question. I can't find it. Sandali. Now, if there's a problem, we're going to reboot. Okay. Otherwise, let me just check nga nito. I'll read it to you. Okay. So, question po natin, no? Topic is your baby British. So, I'm on an FLRM. FLRM, of course, is the spouse application form, yung tawag, family leave to remain, no? M being matrimonial. Marriage rather, spouse visa, and my husband is a British citizen, sabi niya. We've been in the UK for 3 years, and I plan to apply for ILR later, after 5 years. Last year, I gave birth to our baby here, and I'm confused about her status. Since I didn't have ILR when she was born, okay, hindi po ba siya automatic British? Question niya, no? Kailangan po ba siyang pag-applyan ng dependent visa, o okay lang dahil British na yung husband? Once I get my ILR, indefinite leave to remain, automatic na rin ba siya magiging British? O kailangan pa ba niya mag-apply for registration o passport? Sabi niya, no? we're also planning to visit the Philippines soon. Okay lang po bang mag-travel si baby with a Philippine passport, kahit wala pa siyang UK visa? Medyo nakakalito po. Not surprised, no? So yung pong topic natin, again, the great thing is, itong scenario ito, it's really not unusual, but it is confusing. So I'm not surprised that you find it confusing. So yung pong topic natin, so what's the baby citizenship in this case? So is your baby British? No? And I know this is a hot topic for a fair few people. So titignan nga natin, we're gonna unpack that, titignan natin ano bang ibig sabihin ng yung nangyari nga dito, yung sitwasyon nga dito, born to one British parent, do they have to be both British? What happens kung indefinite na nga siya? What happens if the child is born outside the United Kingdom to a British parent nga? What happens if the child is born in the UK, but the parents are here but have limited leave to remain, or indeed overstayers, no? So it's actually a big topic. So I'm so grateful na pinost mo nga yung question. And we're going to unpack that plus a little bit more. So as usual, going to be a very busy night. And hindi nga lang yung questions, of course. We're also going to be talking about a skilled worker route, and bang kailangang mangyari. And again, we have some more questions on spouse visas nga. So it's really going to be an interesting night. I hope you'll be able to join me throughout, no? So we're going to take a quick break nga ngayon. I'm going to check out my internet connection, and hopefully that's all working fine. And then we're gonna come back. Saglit nga lang po. Quick break, and then we'll launch into our topic. Okay? Saglit nga lang. Welcome back po to Lira in Law. I am your host, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. Abogado po ako, and I have been in practice for over 33 years. My gosh, long time. Thank you very much for joining me nga. And nearly happy Halloween, no? Bukas ang Halloween. But it's so cold nga today. But anyway, let's get through the topic nga, because it's quite a big one. Topic po natin, as I say, is your baby British? Tignan natin yun. Now, if at the time of birth, if at the time of your birth, no, kung yung bata, I'm addressing na yung bata, no, one of your parents was, say, British or Irish citizen living in the United Kingdom, ibig sabihin, you are British by default. You are British. So, yung viewer natin, sabi niya, spouse visa nga lang siya, 3 years pa nga lang siya dito, hindi pa siya indefinite, yung asawa niya British. Ibig sabihin, yung anak nyo, good news, is actually British automatically. So kailangan, you don't need to do anything. All you need to do is actually get of course, meron siyang birth certificate, is apply for passport. Okay, yung nga lang. So the next question nga, sabi mo dito, can your baby travel on a Philippine passport? You don't need a Philippine passport because she is British. So just get a British passport. You should do that sooner rather than later. Because mabagal nga at the moment. Most things are taking a bit long. Applications, even applications nga po British passport. So you should do that sooner rather than later. So yon. Now, but of course, hindi nga lang yun often ang sitwasyon. So let's look at other possibilities. Let's say you were born in the United Kingdom, and yung mga magulang mo, your parents, they have settled status, indefinite leave to remain, or one of them has indefinite leave to remain, but not British. Ano bang ibig sabihin? Are you then British at the time of your birth? So kung pinanganak yung anak nyo at the time, and one of you is British already, no? Dito siya pinanganak sa UK, and one of your parents had settlement status, then again, you actually have British citizenship automatically. Okay? So ibig sabihin, kailangan mo nga lang kumuha ng passport. They'll need your birth certificate, of course, but you are also automatically British. So your parents they do not need to be, or parent does not would not need to be British. Settlement status is fine if born in the United Kingdom, right? And of course, after the parent got settlement status. Now, what happens though? Let's say if you were born outside the United Kingdom, this is the bit that confuses people, because there's a phrase, there's a provision called British by descent, no? So you would be still, so pinanganak kayo sa atin, sabihin natin sa Pilipinas, no? Pinanganak sa Pilipinas, and yung isa mong magulang, or both of them maybe even, are British, no? Now, but you're born outside the UK. Now, if you were born on or after the 1st of July 2006, okay, so that's the first thing. There are different rules that apply previous to that. And yung nanay, tatay mo, your mother or father was a British citizen, or both of them, when you were born, and your British parent could pass their citizenship on to you, then you are also automatically British. And it's the last bit that's confusing. No, because a lot of people ask me, well, why can't the British parent pass on their citizenship to you? And it's this thing called British by descent. So kung yung magulang mo, the one that you're going to get, derive your British citizenship from, already obtained their visa by descent. So ibig sabihin, yung nga ang sitwasyon niya, yung sitwasyon mo ngayon, yung nga ang sitwasyon nila dati, then they can't pass it on again. So it passes on to one generation and no more beyond that. Okay? But this concept is a bit confusing. So kung ganyan sitwasyon nyo, make sure you take legal advice, and they'll be able to, your solicitor should be able to explain to you, more thoroughly, if you are indeed someone, if you can indeed get derive your citizenship from your parent. Now, but more common than this situation is what happens if you're born in the United Kingdom to parents later, and your parents later obtained settlement status or British citizenship. So hindi pa nga sila settled status dito, and certainly not British nga. So but you're born in the UK. I have a lot of this scenario. I come across a lot. So born in the UK, parents not yet settled in the UK, but they later on become settled. What's the position? So under 18 ka, and at the now you may then. So what would you do? Okay, so they're settled na, pero dito ka pinanganak. If that's the case, you can then apply for what's called registration. No, so it's not you're not automatically British, but you can apply to be registered to be British. And pagka nakuha man yung registration mo, yung registration certificate, then you can apply for a British passport. And of course, and once you have your registration anyway, you are then British. Okay, so that is fairly common and actually relatively unknown, no? So kung ganun sitwasyon, as I say, you can be registered to be British. Upshot is you're still British. Now, another common situation that certainly I come across is what happens if dito ka nga pinanganak, no? Dito pinanganak yung bata. Pero magulang have, say, limited leave to remain, or indeed no visa, overstayer sila. Anong sitwasyon ng mga bata, no? Again, a fairly common scenario. So born in the UK, at time of birth, neither parent was British or settled, no? And they won't be, anong sitwasyon mo? If you are age 10 or over at the date of, at the time of your application, and you have lived in the UK for the first 10 years of your life, so dito ka pinanganak, 10 taong ka na, ang nanay at tatay mo, wala silang visa, what happens to you? you can actually register also to be British, which is again uh, not uh, uh, not necessarily clear for a lot of people. So, dito pinanganak yung bata, 10 taon na nga siya, nanay tatay niya, wala silang status, overstayer sila. You can make an application to be registered as British. Ibig sabihin, kahit wala nga silang status, magulang mo, you will be British. Now, there's the fact that you're British would assist. No, it will not be conclusive. It will not be a conclusive factor for the Home Office nga to grant your parents a visa if they make an application nga. But it is a factor that they will look at. The British ka na nga, no? So I have a fair few situations. I've seen a fair few situations where that's the case. Actually, yung bata, matagal na nga dito, walang status yung mga magulang. So it's in that case, the child becomes British. And normally what then happens is we make an application for the parents also to be regularized in the UK on the basis that their child is also British nga, amongst other things. But that on its own, no, beware, may mga tao sabi nila sa akin, oh, British na yung anak ko, wala na yung problema. Hindi po yun tama. No? It does not automatically entitle the parents, no, to leave to remain in the UK. And certainly they don't. One client actually sabi niya sa akin, oh, British ng anak ko, so ibig sabihin British na din ako. Hindi po yun, no? Hindi po yun. It's certainly not automatic for the parents by no means. It can be it may not make sense necessarily to you, but that's certainly the position, no, of the Home Office nga. So it's not be careful kung ganun ang sitwasyon nyo. So to the viewer who very kindly posted the question, the good news is dito pinanganak yung bata, spouse visa ka, so you have limited leave to remain. Dito pinanganak yung baby mo, ang tatay niya British nga, and by the way, they don't even need to be married, no? It's simply that one parent needs to be British. So dahil pinanganak siya dito and tatay niya is British, yung baby mo automatically British. So British by default, basically. So all you need to do is make sure that you have the long version of your of the birth certificate, and you need to then apply for British passport. Good luck, and I hope that you have a good holiday and you travel. I mean, it must be, it's difficult traveling with babies. So definitely good luck. Enjoy. And I hope that that's of help nga to you. It's actually, especially na nga ngayon, no? A lot of people are not just worried for themselves, but certainly worried for the children nga. And there are some questions also to do nga with dependence, which is great because it is also of concern. It's yeah, of course you worry about yourself, but I think the worry is becomes worse or doubles at least if you also have dependence nga. Dahil of course inaasahan ka. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that was clear. Kung meron kayong questions nga, feel free to message me and email me. Yeah. Now we come to my favorite part. I know, I mean, it said I like the whole thing, but my favorite part of our show is the batian section. So hopefully may nangangamusta sa atin nga. I hope so anyway. Let me just see if we have any greeters. I hope so. Outcast. Magandang gabi, informative night. Oh, salamat Outcast, no? Yeah, I hope so, no? Dahil nga it's actually a topic that's quite important nga, no, for a lot of people, parents and indeed children alike, no. So it's it's a good thank you for posting the question nga, no. But hindi nga lang questions natin, ang dami nating questions mamaya. Si May Tigbaw Varga sabi niya, hello and good evening po, Attorney Lira, and all the viewers. Happy Thursday. Good, God bless. God bless now, May. I hope you're okay, and I hope you're inside. Ang lamig na nga, no? I don't know how popular Halloween is going to be tomorrow dahil ang napakalamig. It's so cold. It's so cold. Natalia de Guzman. Hello, madam. Sorry to miss last week's show. It's okay. I forgive. I forgive. Salamat. No, but thank you for tuning in tonight. Look, I don't take you for granted by no means. No, alam ko it's the evening, malamig. Some of you may not have eaten yet, like me. No. There are many other things you can do, but no, you choose to be with me, and I know I'm grateful. Talaga, I'm really grateful, and look. I mean, I hope that it comes across. I really enjoy a Thursday get together. Nga, it's a pleasure, and I love these questions, and it's really they're excellent questions. Oh, Miss Rafael, who hails from Wimbledon, Emmeline Rafael, no. Hello, good evening, Attorney Lira, and happy Thursday, everyone. She's all caps, so she's feeling good. Kamusta ka, Miss Rafael? Are you well? I hope you're well, no? Uh, of course, watching from home in Wimbledon. Okay, you're in the country. Yeah, Wimbledon, as you will no doubt know, no, is famous nga for tennis, no? So Miss Rafael is very lucky to be living in an iconic area in London nga. Guy, the great guy from London. Good evening, sabi niya. That's a very short message, guy. Usually, it's far longer than that. What happened to the rest? Kamusta ka? I hope I hope that everything's okay with you and Justin, no, yung anak niya. Miss Jones, Marilyn Jones, happy Thursday, Attorney Lira, and to all viewers, sabi niya, another interesting night for all of us. Salamat, Miss Jones. Miss Jones is great. Miss Jones and I have known each other. How long, Miss Jones? Siguro at least 2 decades, no? 20 years? 20 years we've known each other? Long time. We're growing old together. Ma'am Cora! Hi, Ma'am Cora! Magandang gabi, my dear pretty attorney, sabi niya, Attorney Lira, and everyone, love from Pinas. How are you, Ma'am Cora? I mean, it's dito, sabi ko nga kanina, ang lamig-lamig. Sa atin, madaling araw nga ngayon, no? So it's probably not so hot. But are you well? No? No, we are, no, I love the Philippines, no? At saka, it's a beautiful country, and we're very lucky. But gosh, do we get a lot of catastrophic, events, no? So I hope you're okay. Oh, Lorna Diesta. Hello, Miss Diesta. Good evening, dear. I hope you're keeping well. I'm keeping well. How are you, Miss Diesta? I hope you're well. Thank you very much for to all of you for saying hello. I'm so grateful. No, and if you want to say hello, okay, mahiya. No, just type in hello, Lira. Now, let me just see. I think that may be we can probably crack on with our other questions nga, and we have a fair few. So, tingnan ko nga ito. Let me just have a look. Now, let me have a look. So, sandali. I'm having issues with with my internet. So, I hope you can see me. Let me just check here what's going on. Let me have a look. Sandali, ha? You can tell that we are certainly we're on live. Otherwise, you would not have this problem. Okay, so let me just have a look. My question nga nito. Okay. Currently, we're living here in England, and I'll be renewing. I'll be renewing my FLRM visa next year, April 2026. My husband already holds ILR, indefinite leave to remain, and he's European. We're planning to move to the Isle of Man after I renew my visa. Okay, and I just want to ask if the counting of my years towards ILR, indefinite leave to remain, will continue if we move there, or if it will reset from the start. Also for my husband, since he already has ILR here in the UK, will it still be valid in the Isle of Man? Or will he need to apply again under the Isle of Man immigration? Thank you so much. The immigration rules for the Isle of Man is made by the Minister for Isle of Man Treasury. Okay, so although they're not identical, no, to the UK immigration rules. they're based on UK immigration rules. And they're very similar nga, but they're not identical. And there are some provisions within the UK rules that do not apply there, and some in the Isle of Man immigration rules do not apply in the UK. So it's a different jurisdiction, really. No? So ang payo ko, you should really get advice from someone who practices immigration law there. No? But one thing, a practical issue, a practical point, maybe. I mean, I'm sure you probably thought about this already. Also, ang payo ko, at least yung husband mo may well be entitled to apply for naturalization, no, British citizenship soon. Ang payo ko, he should do that bago nga kayo lumabas, to at least get that one thing sorted nga. No? So there's no, at least he will have that safeguarded already in citizenship nga niya. So so it's you should get advice really from someone who practices that there. So it's unfortunately it's difficult to say, whether it's something that you can that would prejudice you if you then go now. Pero yung payo ko. Now, I'm sure that we have some more questions nga. So tingnan nga natin to. Let me have a look at my next question. So let me have a look. So sandali nga lang. Okay, now ito po. Okay, so next question nga is, I'm currently on a skilled work visa and my husband and child are here with me as my dependents. My visa will expire next year and my employer plans to change company ownership soon. Same job, same role, sabi niya, but new company name. Gusto ko lang pong malaman, kailangan ko pong mag-apply ulit ng new skilled worker visa under the new company sponsor o pwede bang mag-update, mag-update lang ng details sa home office. And if ever mag-a-apply po ako ulit, affected ba yung visa ng dependents ko o kasabay ba sila pagka sa renewal? I like this question because again, it's a fairly common scenario, that I come across. So, gusto niya so skilled worker siya. So let's just to summarize, skilled worker siya. Nanditong pamilya niya, anak at saka asawa nga, no? Now, magbabago sabi ng employer niya, magbabago daw yung kumpanya. Now, there are a number of things to and question nga niya is, can she does she need to apply for a new visa o yung maapektuhan ba yung dependents niya? Now, unang tikala nating tingnan is the change of name. Sabi mo, magbabagong pangalan ng kumpanya. The change of name is iba po yun to change of ownership, change of company nga mismo. I come across sometimes companies that just change their name. So rebranding ba, And it could be that also yung sponsorship license is actually held by a parent company, and then the subsidiary company who benefits from the sponsorship license is actually under a different name. So, unang-una, you need to establish, magbabago nga lang bang pangalan? So, it's a rebranding. O talaga magbabago yung kumpanya nga mismo. So, if it's only a rebranding, so it's the same everything, same owner also, just the name of the company changes, then it's unlikely that your employer will need a new sponsorship license, and it's also unlikely that it will affect affect your employment nga, just because that rebrand nga lang. Now, if however, it's a change of ownership, so sabihin natin, talagang magbabago, binenta na nga yung business, yung nga lang, they're keeping you on and it's the same, you have the same job, same pay, same hours. Ibig sabihin, yung bagong kumpanya, hindi nga lang nila basta-basta masasalo nga yung sponsorship license. It's not transferable in that sense. So that would mean kailangan ng employer mo panibagong sponsorship license because it's a new company. They can, of course, continue to employ you as long as they have a new their own sponsorship license. I mean, it could even be that they already have a sponsorship license. Now, this means that really you will be changing jobs, even though you're doing the same thing. Dahil iba na no? Iba ng kumpanya. Now, under employment law, your continuous employment will likely be protected under something called TUPI, no? Transfer of Undertakings Protection. Yun ang tawag nga. But for immigration, you will likely then need to, unang-una, you must establish that they have actually, that they have a sponsorship license, and then they need to give you a certificate of sponsorship, no? For you also. And then you need to apply to update nga your visa. Now, so to just summarize, if it's a change of job, because it's a change of employer nga, no? Yung kumpanya ibang-iba. What you need to do depends very much on the employment change. So, same employer, same occupation code, no need to update your visa because it's just a rebranding nga. Same employer, different occupation code. So, ibang ang trabaho mo, you must apply to update your visa. Different employer altogether, you must apply again to update nga your visa. Now, when you update your visa, you do need a new certificate of sponsorship from the new employer. Okay? So, yun. Importante po yun. So, ang kailangan mo tanungin sa kanila ano ba, ibebenta ba? So, panibago bang kumpanya ito? Meron ba silang sponsorship license? Importante yun sa'yo. Now, let's look at your dependents. Now, yung dependents mo, they do not need to actually apply to update their visas at the same time as your job change. Their visas are still valid or will remain valid until the original expiry date. So, ibig sabihin, hindi magkatugma ang expiry nyo, maybe, no? Provided you continue to hold valid leave to remain in the United Kingdom. So, they're still, of course, attached to you because they're your dependents nga. But they do not need to apply now pagka nagbago ka as long as you still hold a visa nga. However, they should of course apply to extend or switch their visas before their current visas expire. So hindi nga yun, just they mustn't forget also, no, to switch over. Now, I hope that's helpful. It's actually, again, a fairly common scenario that I come across. So thank you very much for posing the question. Now, I think we have some more questions. So tingnan natin. Let me just see. My internet's going a little bit funny. Let me just have a look. Okay. Now, question po ito. I came here to the UK on a student visa, master's degree, sabi niya. And my husband is here as my dependent. My course will finish this coming January 2026, and I'm planning to switch to a skilled worker visa once I get a job offer. Now, ito po yung medyong nakakalito, no? If I ever successfully switch to skilled work visa, can my husband also switch with me as my dependent? O kailangan po ba munang mag-apply mag-isa, tapos siya na lang ang susunod? And since my student visa will expire soon, will there be a gap in his visa status if my new visa is still being processed? Another thing, medyo worried po ako sa financial requirement kasi I read na iba yung proof of funds between student at skilled work visa. That's true. Need po bang magpakita ulit ng savings kahit nandito kami sa UK for more than 1 year? The answer to that is yes, because it's a different visa altogether. So, sitwasyon niya, estudyante nga siya dito with husband as dependent, looking to switch to skilled worker. No? By the way, just on that, pagka nagpasok kayo ng application, you must not then travel outside the United Kingdom, no? Until you get the decision. If you do travel, before you get the decision, your application will be treated as withdrawn, okay? So be careful. Now, your husband's visa will not automatically switch to this visa if you switch yours, okay? If they do not switch their visa, it will still be valid for until its original end date. Does that make sense? No. So it doesn't automatically switch. But if they do not switch, if they don't switch their visa, it'll be still valid until the original date. But of course, it's a bit strange because then you have he's then a student dependent, whereas you are under the skilled worker. I for my clients, I think it's cleaner to actually make an application nga at the same time. So you don't, hindi mo kailangan ikaw muna tapos siya. You can actually submit the application at the same time. But it's also okay to wait until the original end date of visa nga niya. But as I say, it's often cleaner to apply at the same time. But certainly, kailangan niya magpasok ng application before. By the way, just as again, a reminder nga, if you're switching to this visa as a care worker, okay, a senior care worker or someone with a job listed as medium skill, if you're looking at the job list, your partner will not be able to switch to this visa, okay, as your dependent because of the change in the law. No, if you've been keeping up to date with the changes in the law, care workers and senior care workers are no longer able to apply if they enter the United Kingdom after, I think it's this 2023 December. It will no longer be able to apply for their family dependents nga to join them in the United Kingdom, and that applies here. So kung ang ipapalit mo, kung trabaho mo when you switch over is that of from a student is that of care or senior care, your husband will have a problem. Okay. So ang payo ko, estudyante ka nga dito, if you're looking for a job to switch to, and you can, on a student visa because it's not the short-term visa. Ang payo ko, not carer, not senior carer, because otherwise that will prove to be problematic for him. So I hope that's of help nga to you. Now, let me just see if we have any more greeters. But otherwise, no, it's great. It's the questions are always so great, no? It's astonishing that you take the time now to message me. I'm grateful. Oh, Lorna, yes, thanks. I'm well and glad I managed to join tonight. Nice to kind of see you, no, Miss Diesta. It's always a pleasure, always a pleasure. Now it's I continue to have, unfortunately, technical problems. So I think we might shorten tonight, yeah. But it's always a pleasure to be with you. And if you have any questions, yeah, or post it, email me, as long as you email me before Wednesday, preferably. And I'll try and always deal now with your questions. If you have follow-up concerns also, just email me, you have my details under Lira in Law. It's always a pleasure to try and assist nga, no? Pero kung nalilito pa rin nga kayo and you need some more detailed advice, nothing beats truly just seeing someone, seeing a solicitor nga. You can see them on I certainly offer remote interviews, for example, so we can do it by you can do it by WhatsApp nga or Zoom, malayo nga kayo. It's helpful to kind of have a one-to-one kung may problema nga kayo. Now, it just leaves me really to say, gosh, nearly happy Halloween. I hope that tomorrow is I don't know if you're going out tomorrow for Halloween, but if you are going out tomorrow for Halloween, I hope you get lots of sweets and treats. Just leaves me really to say, salamat po sa inyong lahat. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, always to our longtime friends and viewers and to the Facebook groups that very kindly allow us to post our contents. And if you wish to have a go at being a star question, email me. We'll try and do it. So it's always a pleasure to be with you. So it leaves me really to say thank you very much again for joining me. Always a pleasure, po. And I hope that you'll be able to also keep me company again tomorrow. I was going to say tomorrow. Next week. So I hope that you'll be able to join me next Thursday between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. But in the meantime, just leaves me to say good night, and I hope you have a happy Halloween, and see you again next week. Same time, same place. Sige po. Good night.